What's up, my little Photoshop magicians? Today we have a very special video. I will show you a process behind this stunning artwork. Look at that! Look how her face is getting skinned off! I know this is horrible, but beautiful at the same time. And it got many likes, but Instagram doesn't show you how many likes it got, but I will tell you, it got 1500 likes. As you can see, tons of lovable comments. Holy smokes, you are so talented! Oh, she's talking to me. Thank you. Okay, it's enough complimenting. It's enough complimenting myself. I forgot the word. And before we go into the process, look at that stunning sweatshirt and at that stunning artwork. That's actually my own artwork. And if you just go to learnfromfred.com, you can start learning for free and create tons of stunning projects and access all of my classes that I actually paid, but you will get them for free. They're classes about Photoshop, After Effects, how to create Instagram masks, cool stuff. Just make sure to go and check it. And what's most important, you will learn how to create really cool artworks. So first of all, of course, we start by just importing the image. And first of all, of course, we start by just going to camera raw filter. And here I was experimenting a lot, just like always, because I never know what I should actually do for my artwork, what kind of colors, what feelings I want to give them. So as you can see, I just went for low contrast, I added more violet colors, and I also increased the vibrance. And then I went to HSL adjustments, which helps us to change the colors completely. For example, as you can see here, I'm adding more cyan colors instead of blue. And babam, now we have pink and green colors, my favorite colors in the artwork. Our next step is to create actually this shape here for the mask, and for that I'm just using Curvature Pen tool, and I will just start creating the shape right now. So let me just show that in the speed mode. So I'm just creating the shape here. And after tons of experimenting, that's finally the shape that I created. As you can see, we have here this line, and also we have here these lines, and this basically means these are going to be the seam parts of the peel off, and here we're going to see the other part of the face of the skin. The gradient doesn't really matter that much because we're not going to see it anyway. Also, one interesting thing that I actually did in camera raw, which I forgot to tell you, is, for example, here as you can see texture, I made this texture almost on maximum. So what texture does this? Actually helps us to bring all the points on the face, as you can see, these textures that we have on the face, to show them better, so they are not smooth, and that actually makes the artwork more real. But if your Photoshop is too old, then you're not going to have this texture option here. So my next step was to get rid of all the things that we don't need, and I was doing it just on an empty layer with my healing brush tool. As you can see, I'm just drawing over, so this can take some time and it kind of looks ugly right now, but don't be scared, okay? Just, I am with you, don't be scared. And in some places it was really hard to get rid of the things that we don't need. For example, as you can see here in this lips, because when I was drawing over there with healing brush tool, it would just draw another lips there. Photoshop didn't understand what I actually want to do there, and for that reason I actually had to choose the second healing brush tool, which helped me to copy these parts of the skin and just draw with them here. As you can see, now I'm just copying it from here and drawing it here. So I still felt like this artwork is not smooth enough. I wanted to give it more pink vibe, and for that reason I actually just created a solid pink color, and then I was just experimenting with blending modes in order to blend it with the artwork itself. So as you can see here, I'm just choosing different blending modes. I don't know which one to choose. And now, my dear friends, the most important part, probably. Now we have to create a skin here in this selection. So basically this is a selection of our shapes that we drew previously, if you remember, and if your memory is better than the memory of a fish, which has a 3-second memory, then you should remember that. And the way I decided to do it, again, I would just copy skin from here, and then I would just draw it here, and for that I would use the second spot healing brush tool. So as you can see, again, I'm just copying it from here and drawing over here. And let me just forward this quickly. Bam baram 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 baram. So now I did it. But the problem is that we don't really see where's the part of the skin that we drew over. It just blends with the general skin. And for that I actually did following. I created a brightness contrast adjustment layer and I actually decreased the brightness to make this part of the skin darker. And for some reason, I don't know what is that. That looks really weird. Oh, I forgot to draw with the skin there. That's why it was just empty place. That's why. And I decided to make some adjustments. I decided to make this part kinda longer because I showed it's too short. And now, my dear friends, let's guess. What am I gonna do next? I give you 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Come on. 4. Time is over. You lost. Well, honestly, I don't know myself because I don't remember what I did next. So let's just look at my screen recording and see. What I do next is I create a copy. Oh yeah, I create a copy of this layer here, which is basically the layer of our skin, this part here. And the reason I did that, so I can actually make it thicker. So as you can see, I brought it back, and when we bring it back, we can already see here some kind of thickness. So we are creating this part here, the thick part. And now we just need to add some kind of color on it. So as you can see, I added another brightness contrast, and I actually made this part bright. As you can see, it's more white, so it stands out from the rest. Okay, I made it darker now. And we just need to make few adjustments. We need to delete it from some of the places. So now I have a pretty difficult task. I need to color this somehow. I don't really know what color to choose, so I just decided to go to layer styles and just use color overlay, and let's see what we do here. So as you can see, I'm choosing between different blending modes with this color to see which one actually fits better. Okay, this honestly looks horrible. How could I do that? I can't believe that. What was wrong with me 2 months ago? Okay, so finally I'm done with choosing the colors, and as you can see, I chose gradient and I chose overlay blending mode. Now I want to show you something very secret. How do you think all these really interesting edges were created? As you can see here, we have these really weird edges. They're really chaotic, they're not smooth, but they look realistic. We will see that in the next episode. To be continued. I was kidding. So for that, I'm actually gonna use a special brush. As you can see here right now, I have a different kind of brush here, which is not a circle brush. So as you can see, for example, I had my brush settings panel right here, and that's where it was, so I just chose it. So as you can see, it's not that secret after all. So now I would just use a mask and use this brush in order to get rid of all the parts that I don't need. As you can see, I'm just making these edges really chaotic, and let me just speed this up. You see, almost done. So we made all of this chaotic, and right now we're working on this part here. So as you can see, I got rid of from this gradient overlay that we had before. As you can see, if you remember, it was a different color. I just turned it off, and also I added more lines here. I just drew it with pink overlay, I would say, as you can see here. So it kind of looks like it's a peel off, because if it's a mask, then we also have to see the edges of the mask. Next thing I did, I just started coloring with pink colors here on the edges, and then I used different blending modes in order to blend it with this. As you can see, it's looking pretty great. So we also added it here, and boom, chicka boom, fantastico. So next step actually was to add some shadows here, because if it's a mask again, then we also need to have shadows here. So again, we want to make it realistic. Yeah, so I'm just drawing it here with just creating some shadow here with my brush and black color. And yeah, I almost forgot, shadow also needs to be here, because if this is, so for example, if you see, I start drawing it here, it needs to be the shape that we have here, and bam, look at that, much better, right? Shadow here and also shadow here. And next we will do something really scary. Here, take my hand, let's go through this together. We will do these lines here. So I just assume that these are kinda the lines that you have on your hands. I don't know how to call it, like vents, I think you call them. You know, the green lines that you have here. I just started drawing with my brush tool again, and right now I just need to do many lines. So it's a big work. So if you're a lazy type of person, then I have bad news for you. You'll have to do some work. I'm actually a pretty lazy person. It may be hard to believe, because I create 2 videos per week on YouTube, and also many artworks every week, and also I have other jobs, I have freelance projects. I'm still a lazy person. High five if you're lazy too. Bam! The veins are getting all over his face. Oh, I meant her face. So as you can see, we have left probably the easiest part, which is just coloring her eyes white. As you can see, we need to color them white, and I'm just doing it with white color. It's not that difficult. We have done it already 100,000 times. If you have watched my other videos, just white color, bam, and then we just add some outer glow and make them really shiny and beautiful. At this point you could already go and have a nice sleep, or we could try to perfect this even more. By that I mean, for example, you see the skin, you can make it look really like a skin by adding some dots on it, you know, like adding a texture. And we can do that by just using some pattern overlay. As you can see, I'm using this kind of pattern with different blending modes. And let's say you have done all this work and now you're like, I wanna add some more lines here, you know, change the shape of the skin a little bit. There's a quick fix to that, okay? You don't have to do it all over. And the quick fix is actually to go to filter and use liquify filter here, which just helps you to, you know, take and drag stuff. So as you can see, I can just take and drag this stuff here. I can take and drag this stuff here, and many other things. For example, I can even create new lines by just dragging this to the left. As you can see, I added new lines and it still looks nice. Why? Because we are the freaking best Photoshoppers in the whole world. Do you agree with me? Yes. If you don't, then jump out of the window. But only if you live on the first floor. If you live on the second, then please don't do it. It may be dangerous. And you also probably saw that I did some color changes, but that's not so important. You know, you can change colors according to what you like, according to your own taste. The last thing I would love to show you is actually that if you want to change the colors dramatically and affect everything, I would advise you to create this color balance layer here and just, you know, work with it, because here you can actually bring more cyan, bring more green, magenta, and other stuff. I love you. That was creepy. With that said, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to go to my website learnfromfred.com, where you can start learning Photoshop for free and create this and many other stunning artworks. I will go back to where I came from, and of course I came from Narnia.